Hi everyone, this is Helloangel.design. Today I'm going to show you how I make this cute dress with elastic on the waistline. It's an easy tutorial. I will take you step by step on how you can achieve this. So I'm going to put all my measurements on my fabric. So those of you are asking how to cut a fabric, so I'm going to show you how to do that today. It's an easy step by step and friendly tutorial. The neckline is a little bit bigger, so it doesn't have a button loop at the center back. But if you want a button loop at the center back, don't forget to, for the back dress, make sure to cut about 4 inches down and use your bias binding to bind it so that you have a button loop. But if you don't want a button loop, just cut it a little bit wider so that your child can put it on. It's a flare dress. It's so easy. You can see the elastic on the waistline. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Make a comment down below if you have any questions. If my tutorial has been helpful, don't forget to thumbs up and click on the notification bell. When you click on the notification bell, don't forget to click all so that you don't miss any of my video. And let's get started. First thing that you have to do, you're going to open your fabric. So this is my fabric, this is the back of my fabric, while this is the front of my fabric. I just fold it into two. So the next thing is for you to take the measurement of your fabric. The measurement that you're going to take, the length is 28 inch and the width is also 28 inch. So the width is also 28 inch. Once you're cutting your fabric, make sure that your fabric is on fold. So my fabric right here is on fold, and then you cut it out. Once you have done it like that, the next thing that you have to do, you're going to fold your fabric like a triangle or a diagonal like this. You just fold it like this, and the fold hem side should be facing you. So this fold hem side will be where you're going to start to put your measurement. So these are the raw edges side, while this is the fold hem side. So I just place my measuring tape from the top and I measure down 6 inch and I just draw a basic line. That is what you're seeing right here. The next thing that you have to do, you're going to take the child shoulder measurement. So you just place your measuring tape. The shoulder measurement that I have for 2 to 3 years old is 4.5, and then you mark it like this. So this is the shoulder measurement. From here to here is 4.5 inch. That is 9 divided by 2. You have 4.5 inch. So I have taken my shoulder measurement and this is where it ends. The next thing that you have to do, you're going to take the armhole length. My armhole length is 5 inch. So what you're going to do, place your measuring tape. From here you measure down 5 inches right here. So this is my 5 inch, and then you connect it all the way down to that 5 inch. The next thing that you have to do, you're going to take the chest measurement. So the chest measurement that I have is 26 divided by 4, you have 6.5, and then you place your measuring tape again. This is 6.5. Remember to add ease, half an inch ease, and remember to also add your seam allowance. So when I'm cutting it out, I will add my seam allowance. That will be 1 centimeter seam allowance. See, this is the mark of my chest and this is my ease. So I'm just going to connect it together. Place your measuring tape. You're going to take the neckline. So the neckline, I will take 2.5 inch. And then I will move down by half an inch. And then from here, and I will connect it to my shoulder slope. Once you have done that, then take the total length of your armhole. So the total length of my armhole, I'll just place my measuring tape, is 4.5. So 4.5, you fold your measuring tape like this. This is the mid part. So I will move inside half an inch. So what I'm going to do, From here will be the front armhole, and this will be the back armhole. What you're going to do, you take your armhole curve, you just connect. I will first connect the front armhole like that. This is the back and this is the front. So now I'm going to take the length of my dress. You put your measuring tape from the very top of your line. That will be from the shoulder seam line right here. The very top, not from the shoulder slope, the very top of your shoulder. You place your measuring tape. I'm going to take my length is 21.5 inch. You take your marker and then you just go ahead and start marking it all the way down. 21.5 inch, just like that. I hope you guys can see that. 21.5. I will just keep doing it like that all the way down. Once I am done doing that, I will go ahead and then connect the mark together. So go ahead and measure it all the way down. I have connected my mark all the way down. The next thing that you have to do, take your scissors, just go ahead and cut it out. Once you have cut out the length of your dress, the next thing that you have to do, you're going to measure the neckline. For the back neckline, I'm taking 1 inch. For the front neckline, I'm taking 2.5 inch. And then you take your armhole curve, then you connect them together. From here, you connect them together. Now that we have measured the front and the back neckline, so this is already done. The next thing that you have to do, from your ease line, this is my ease right here. So you're going to connect the dress from there all the way to the end like this. You just place your ruler from your ease all the way down. Remember, if you want to add seam allowance, just go ahead and add about 1 centimeter seam allowance or 1/2 inch seam allowance like this. And then from there, you connect it all the way down. From your seam allowance, so that you know that your seam allowance is already included before you cut it out, add your 1/2 inch seam allowance and then connect it all the way down. So go ahead and then cut it out. I have cut my back dress, so I will open it like this and remove the back dress. So I'm going to cut out the front neckline and the front armhole. So go ahead and do the same. I have cut out the front dress and the back dress. The next thing that we have to do before we start to put the dress together, we are going to cut the facing for the neckline, and the facing for the back neckline. So what you're going to do, you take the remaining pieces of your fabric and then you open it like this. So what I'm going to do, I will just go ahead and pin them in place. Once I am done that, I will take my marker and then I will just go ahead and mark around the neckline. Once you have done that, remove the pins. What I'm going to do, before I measure the width of my neckline around like this, I will take, this is my dress, place my measuring tape like this. So it's 2.25 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure 1.5 inch all around. Once you have done with that, then connect it together. Go ahead and cut it out. You will do the same thing with the back neckline. I have cut out the facing for the front neckline. This is my facing for the front neckline. And I also cut out the back facing. Before we finally start to put the dress together, what you're going to do, you're going to measure from your shoulder all the way down to the waistline. That is where you're going to put your elastic. So what you're going to do, place your measuring tape like this. You measure that 9-inch. So when you're marking your fabric, make sure you're marking the back of your fabric. So once you have done it like that, go ahead and connect all the mark together. If you can't use freehand, you can also use your armhole. So I will just place my armhole like this, and then I will connect it all the way down. So go ahead and do the same. The next thing that you have to do, you're going to stitch the both shoulder seam. Before you put your dress together, make sure both front are facing each other. Just go ahead and pin the both shoulder seam. I have pinned the both shoulder seam. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. Once you have done stitching, then you take your facing. So this is my facing, this is the front, and this is the back. Also go ahead and put the both shoulder seam together like this. Pin that in place. Once you have done pinning, also take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both shoulder seam of the facing together. So go ahead and top stitch. I have stitched the shoulder seam. This is how it is, and I also go ahead and stitch the shoulder seam of the facing, and I just take it to my overlocker, just overlock the raw edges. The next thing that you have to do, you're going to put the facing on the dress. So what you're going to do, this is my back. So you place the both shoulder seam together like this. Make sure they are matched, and you just go ahead and pin it in place. You come down to this side, you do the same thing, pin them together. Once you have done that, just go ahead and pin around the neckline. I have pinned around the neckline. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way around. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. I have stitched around the neckline. As you can see, I use my facing to bind the neckline. And this is how it is. Remember to snip around the curved edge all around. Once you've done that, take it to your ironing board, give it a very good press. You can also go ahead and top stitch around the neckline so that you secure this facing so that it's not sticking out when the child put it on. And you can also realize that there is no button loop on this dress. So if you're making this dress, make sure that the neckline is a little bit wider. So this is how it is. The next thing that we are going to do, we are going to use bias binding to bind the both armhole. So place your bias binding around the armhole. Go ahead and bind the both armhole. I have stitched around the both armhole. This is how it is. I use my bias binding to bind the both armhole. This is how it looks right now. The next thing that we have to do, we are going to put our elastic. So the length of my elastic, I will just measure it. The length of my elastic is 24 inch. So I'm going to cut it into 2. I will just cut it into 2. So what I'm going to do, you turn your dress inside out. So what you're going to do, you place your elastic at the back of your dress, and then you just stretch it out to the other side. You can either pin it in place like this, and then you pin it to the other end like this. So when you're stitching, you can stretch it out, and then you come down to the other side, you do the same thing. When you're stitching, you just keep stretching it out all the way down. Go ahead and stitch your elastic on the waistline of your dress. I have stitched the elastic on the waistline. This is how it is. You can see how it is. The next thing that we are going to do, we are just going to put the both side seam of the dress together. So you put them together like this. Make sure both the waistline are matched and the armhole. You just go ahead and pin that in place. I have pinned the both side seam together. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch the both side seams. You have done that. Also go ahead and hem your dress, fold it inside and then fold it again and give it a top stitch. If you have overlocker, just overlock the raw edges and fold inside 1 centimeter. So go ahead and top stitch.